Good morning, everybody. This is Jasmine Green Tea with your morning show. Today I am drinking a turmeric ginger tea blend because I've been wearing myself out, working too damn hard. And supposedly turmeric is good for your joints, so heck, I'm gonna try it, right? So I feel like this is too close. Hold on. I need my personal space. I probably look like shit right now, but that's not really the point of this. Man, maybe I should have put some makeup on or something. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I look so ugly. All right. I'll put a hat on. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That fixes everything. You know, this video is going to be a little bit weird. And it's probably something I'm not going to do a video like this very often. But who knows? As the title would say, something about me being a Republican. I don't really consider myself anything, but it's a catchy title, right? And I have more conservative values and views at the end of the day. So if I was going to pick a side, if I had to, I would choose the side that's a little bit more conservative. There's a huge reason why I can't back the blue as someone with conservative values, and supposedly the blue is a part of the conservative thing, but you would think, as someone with conservative values, that I of course would completely back the blue, but I cannot. And there's a reason. There's many reasons why I can't. It's kind of like, you know, those claws. You're always trying to grab the prize, and most of the time you don't win. Yes, there's a few gems in there that stop you with a fucking ice cream cone and say, hey, not all cops are bad, but that's very few and far between, okay? When you're hiring mostly psychopaths, right? So it's like it's a very, I don't know, I guess, I'm not sure if I'm using this term correctly, but I catch-22 or rock in a hard place, you know? It's a really rough place, especially when they have, hold on, I think they have qualified immunity. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that they, you know, when I pay attention to cops, because I've had to deal with cops my entire life, okay? So this is the thing. A lot of people wouldn't understand. I had a messed up life. I've hung around these people. I've been around these people. I know these kinds of people. I understand how things work. And there's a reason why I say it's all rigged, and that there's really, you know, you really do need to take responsibility for yourself and your priorities and all that stuff. And even when you still do that, it still seems as though people want to take that away from you, regardless of how good of a person you are or not. I've seen things, I've experienced things, I've watched things, and I understand a lot of things. This one thing about cops: at the end of the day, they're humans. At the end of the day, they're people. At the end of the day, they have their own interests in mind when they do things. And when you have something like qualified immunity in place, their focus is not going to be what it would be if the main goal was to actually protect and serve the population and the community. Police are really kind of like, I would say, they're there to keep the peace, but once the peace is gone, they're just there to report it, you know? And they're there to protect certain assets for people. And because of the way things are structured and the quotas and things like that, these people can be bought. It's not like, you know, and it's not like this is just like, oh, what such a, wow, what a groundbreaking discovery. Yes, they can be bought. You know, it's like people don't think that people need money and need to feed their kids and know that how rigged the system is. To the, you know, the thing is that the problem is that people have their eyes closed because they're too afraid to address the issue. The problem with addressing the issue, something like this, it's a very big issue to address, you know? And here's the thing, what needs to happen, the first thing is that we need to remove qualified immunity, because it allows people to get into this industry, to get into this workforce, and to abuse certain things and abuse certain powers and abuse certain people. It's already hard enough going through life just in the day-to-day, because depending on who you are as an individual, people are going to judge you depending on whatever they think, right? Because you look a certain way, I'm gonna judge you a certain way, and then, you know, that's just how it is, right? Everybody gets profiled, right? You know, even Becky gets profiled, the blonde Becky. What does she get profiled? Oh, she's just a nice blonde girl. And then, so, you know, she, you know, and the thing is that instead of being real and open and realizing, like, we profile everybody. Yes, even the Becky gets profiled, you know, and you don't understand. She could have the hardest fucking life out there. She could be the most gangster bitch. You don't even fucking know. But because you look at her and she looks a certain way, you're just going to judge her based off of that, right? Oh, she looks like she's stupid, or she looks like she's this, or he looks like he's aggressive, or he looks like he's sweet. And then meanwhile, it's the complete opposite. It's flip-flop, right? And so my point is that judging a book by a cover is never a good thing. And what I've seen with cops is a lot of lazy investigation, a lot of lazy work, a lot of, oh, how many tickets can I get? How many tickets can I get? You've realized some of these tickets are like $300 motherfucking dollars, with people making only $600, $700, $800 a week. Do you know how significant that is in this time to give somebody a fucking speeding ticket when people are just trying to fucking survive? Do you know how significant that is? You can put somebody on the street for that. You guys don't give a fuck. And that's why the homeless population is growing. We're letting people in when we can't even afford to feed the fucking people on the street. It doesn't even make sense what we're doing. But we're doing it because it's not what we think, and we keep having our eyes closed. It's not what we think. You are responsible for you. The government doesn't give a fuck about you. If they did, well, things would be a hell of a lot different. Let me tell you that. It would be so different. I tell you, I wouldn't be in this situation. Here's the thing. Here's the thing I hate about victim blaming, is that victim blaming is saying, well, you should have known, even when there's a deficit in knowledge between the victim and the person that is victimizing, right? But people never think to say, well, you know, there's just this big culture of victim blaming, like you should have known and things like that. And it's just like, no. We suffer for the lack of knowledge, yes, but we are also suppressed of that knowledge purposely. So having people like me come onto the scene and educate people and allow them to actually take the veil up and say, hey, listen, this place isn't what you think it is, okay? Yeah, they can go after anybody they want at any time they want for any fucking reason they want, okay? You know, if they really wanted to. Of course, some people are protected by higher powers, but that's a different story. My point of the matter is that there's a lot of things they could do. If they really wanted to do it, they would do it. They just don't give a fuck, okay? There's a lot of things that we could have done to change things, okay? And here's the thing. I understand what a difficult job this must be to be a police officer. because you are in that rock and a hard place that if you're a good cop, you're constantly having to prove that you're, to the population, to civilians, that, hey, I actually have good intentions. And then, you're also putting your life at risk. And, people, it doesn't seem like it's as it's an uphill battle. It's almost like a spiritual battle, because you're fighting and fighting and fighting all of these forces that are coming at you from evil perspectives, and just unfair ways, doing things that are just, completely illegal, and not having any, wits about it, and then hate it, and then going after people for doing the same thing. Here's the thing, I'm all about, here's the thing, this let's talk about Trump, right? He got charged, what, close to $500 million or something. That's perfectly fine. You want to do that, that's fine. But there are people on the other side who have made a significantly much more damaging situation on our country that have never even come close to being fined for that much. And we're going to worry about this business guy over here who, just wanted to make the economy better. And we're not looking at the other side of, well, what happened to all of the expensive ass equipment that is now on the black market that we left in Afghanistan for like literally the first week? What happened to all of the money that Americans have spent on gas and everything raising, and all of the grocery prices going insane, and the shrinkflation, and it's just, we are being robbed, and yet we still have people out here pretending like they don't understand that this isn't real. The battle's only bloody if you decide to fight for the man. You can just lie flat. You can just do nothing. Why do these people think that they're so damn important, right? So important for all of us to lose our lives, starve, and suffer for what? So, it's obviously much bigger than backing the blue. This problem is much bigger. But it can start by removing qualified immunity. It can start by dealing with creating a kind of policing of the police, essentially, right? And just different levels to things in order to sieve out the bad, right? Because, that's all you can do. People lie, people cheat, people steal, and so what we have to do is put things in place to fix things, but without being anal and taking away people's freedom, because that's what we do. We try to pretend like, oh, this is for better, but then we go too far, right? So it's about creating a mediated thing, and then going with the standard that we all know is actually proper. Okay, there's a universal law. Okay, you don't have to write a bunch of laws for people to know when something is right or wrong. I mean, sometimes there's certain things, but it can get down. It gets to a point when something's wrong or right. So my point is that as people with common sense, we can understand when, a tax is actually viable or makes any sense at all, So, it's changing the way we do things. And it just, I think, for so long, we have been fear-mongered into believing that we have no power, but we actually do. And that's what they don't want. They don't want you to believe in yourself. So this is, my take on the whole thing. You know, I know it's not everybody in that who are police. I know not every police officer is a bad person, but I've seen enough corruption to understand that you need to protect yourself, because the police are usually just there to make reports and collect evidence in a shitty, shoddy manner. Just that Lauren, that not Lauren. Let me look her up. That young lady who was found dead at her apartment with that. Hold on. So the way that they gathered the evidence, Lauren Smithfields, I think. Hold on. Yes, that very young, pretty lady, little African American lady. Let me find a good picture of her so I can show you. Okay. So this is her. I don't know. She wasn't even 25. Hold on. Let me lower this. So let me explain something to you about this case. This was clearly, she was targeted, okay? And you know what? It took 2 weeks for them to go back to the apartment or the house or wherever she was and collect the evidence. Do you know how disgusting that is, that it takes you 2 weeks? 2 weeks. Everybody that was on that case should be fired and serve a minimum sentence of 3 years for tampering with evidence and not properly dealing with the case. You didn't even investigate the guy that was there at all. She meets this guy for the first time. These people are new. They've met each other for the first time. And in all of her life, she just comes into contact with this guy. And now she's not here. I don't know. It doesn't smell right to me. It doesn't smell right to me. And this case has always bothered me. I don't know why. Just something about this case has always bothered me. Like, I just felt like everybody on it was just foul play, disgusting. It really bothers me. It really bothers me when shit like this happens, you know? And maybe it was just a freak accident. But given the fact that dark-skinned women who are gorgeous and beautiful and a threat can sometimes be targeted, you know? And it just doesn't kind of feel right. But, you know, maybe I'm completely wrong. But if it took you 2 weeks to go there and get evidence, I say foul play. So, you know, I wasn't there, obviously, but it don't smell right. And it always, something in my heart just always felt weird about this case. Like something wasn't right at all, you know? And this case is not why I don't back the blue, okay? This could just be a isolated event somewhere far away from where I am. But my own experiences. Other people's experiences just validate my own experiences. So it's just, you know, it's kind of one of those things, you know? So this video is just kind of like a reality check, you know? And, you know, what about the whole Republican thing? You know, I really don't really agree with trying to label myself as something. You know, I'm a person. I just want to live. There are certain laws, boundaries, and things, and fairness, and the way that we should go about things, you know, that need to be dealt with. And, you know, we need to use more common sense, right? Whether I prefer the color blue or red doesn't really matter. Purple doesn't matter. I'm just here to try to make things actually better, you know, and I'm not, you know, knocking anybody that, you know, that is doing their thing. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying, like, you know, this battle is just kind of dumb, you know, and it just sucks that, you know, it's just like a lot of money and greed and sex and blackmail and all this other shit involved. But anyways, you know, here's a perspective that doesn't have to deal with all that bullshit, you know. So yeah, you gotta get your homes ready, get prepared, you know, have some comforts in place, buy some generators, you know, buy your generators. There's a lot of things that we could do to prepare to become more self-sufficient so that we don't have to get left with our pants down when our government is you know, snorting too many in the bathroom. So have a wonderful day.